Hello everybody, myself Dr. M. Sumitra. Now I am going to discuss about flame photometry. In my presentation, I have covered the principle and procedure and applications involved in the flame photometry. First, I say few words about flame photometry. Flame photometry, otherwise called as flame emission spectroscopy. Actually, it is a special area of emission spectroscopy in which normal gaseous flame is used to excite the atoms. In that principle, mainly deals with the examination of energy emitted from a substance. Actually, it is the special instrumental approach for the determination of alkali and alkali earth metals like sodium, calcium, potassium. Now we move on to the principle involved in flame photometry. So if we are taking the atoms, it contains the nucleus and the electrons will be present in the orbitals. So generally the orbitals will be classified into K shell, L, M, N like that. So in that nucleus, proton and neutron will be present. Under this, around the nucleus, the electrons will be moving in the orbitals. So the K shell will be containing 2 electrons and L will be 8. So in that orbitals, the electrons will be once if we are receive the radiation from the light source, the electrons will be gain the energy, so it will be move on to the one shell to another shell. So in that flame photometry, if we are pass the light radiation, the K shell electrons will be moving to the L shell by absorbing the radiation. So during that process, the paired electrons will be come to the unpaired electrons. So the unpaired electrons will be not stable. So again it will be come to K shell. During that transition, the absorbed energy will be emitted as a radiation. So in that flame photometry, you collect the emitted radiation. From the emitted radiation energy, you can identify the nature of the compound and how much quantity of the compound will be present in the unknown sample. So in that flame photometry, the emitted radiation will energy will be equivalent to your quantity of the unknown sample. How it can be identified mean the Bose will be explained how the energy will be correlated to emitted radiation. If you are taking the energy emitted will be noted as E2 and energy absorbed will be E1. It will be equivalent to H nu. Here H is a Planck constant and nu is the frequency of emitted light. So we will be know nu is the c by lambda. C is the velocity of light emitted and lambda is the wavelength of light radiation absorbed. So from that, if you have substituted the E2 minus E1 equivalent to Hc divided by lambda. So if you are keep the lambda in the one side and remaining in the opposite position, you get Hc divided by E2 minus E1. So from the derived equation, the wavelength of emitted radiation, it will be give the information about quantity of your substance present in the unknown solution. So from the Bohr's equation, we are collecting the following informations. The emitted radiation, which is give the characteristic of atoms present in the particular element. and also we get the wavelength of radiation from the flame is indicated the how many number of elements present in the unknown solution, as well as we are getting the intensity of the radiation emitted. So from that you get the amount of unknown element present in your sample. So next we move on to the process involved in the flame photometry. Generally in the flame photometric method, we are preparing the liquid nature sample solution. So you will be take the either solid or liquid. It may be converted into the liquid solution and the liquid sample only sprayed over to flame. So the liquid sample initially it will be formed as a fine droplet. Okay. So in that stage the all the solvent portion will be removed by the flame and it will be formed as a fine droplet. Then in that stage complete vaporization will be happen and it will be formed as a fine residue. Okay. So in that fine residue, it will be containing the neutral atoms. So up to this stage, no absorption and emission will be happen. So once the compound will be converted into neutral state, it will be absorb the energy from the radiation and it will be goes for the excitation state. Okay, so the paired electrons will be come to the unpaired electron state. So the unpaired will be not stable. So it will be emitted the gained energy and it will be move on to the um, one shell to backward shell. So the emitted radiation will be collected by your detector and it will be shows the wavelength of your radiation emitted and the intensity of the radiation will be emitted from the substance. So from the value you will be collect the quantity of the unknown substance. So next we move on to the important applications of flame photometry. The flame photometry will be used for both qualitative as well as quantitative analysis. Particularly, the flame photometry will be give the unknown amount of your substance. That is quantitative analysis. So in that qualitative part, the flame photometry is used to identify the elements present. From the flame color itself, we can able to know which type of metal will be present in the sample solutions. In case of quantitative analysis, the flame photometry will be give the amount of intensity of emitted radiation. So from the intensity value, we can calculate the quantity of unknown compound present in the sample solution. The flame photometry particularly used to analyze the group 1A and group 2A elements present in the periodic table like lithium, calcium, sodium or potassium in the sample solution. So let us see the factors affecting the flame photometric process. These are all the factors will interfere the process. So during that process, we take care the parameters. The first one is viscosity. So if you are the sample solution will be very viscous mean it is difficult to vaporize and it will be formed a droplet will be very difficult. It will be take the time. So the addition of substance which increases the viscosity of the solution decrease the intensity of emitted radiation. The another factor is presence of acids. The acids also interfere your process. If your sample containing the acids, it decreases the light intensity. The amount of decrease due to the disturbance of initial dissociation of your equilibrium of your substance. Then last factor is presence of other metals. If you have sample solution containing more than one metal solution, that also interfere your process. That is, it will be produce the fault value of your intensity emitted radiation. So next one will be the limitations of flame photometry. From the flame photometry, we can get only the total metal content present in the sample solution. It does not provide the information about the molecular form of the metal present in the sample solution. And also the flame photometry cannot able to measure the inert gases. And also the flame photometry will be used to analyze only liquid samples. And also the preparation procedure will be very difficult. It cannot be direct determination of all metal atoms. The flame intensity will be very less, so only limited number of metals only we can able to excitation of compound. These are all the reference for my presentation. Thank you.